Hey, Mudflap's back with another video. This time I want to talk to you guys about the Phase 2 changes, that being the Ulduar changes, the Phase 1 loot changes, and the heroic dungeon changes. So, Blizzard has broken away from the no changes thing back in TBC. They started doing some changes in Wrath. They've done even more, some really bold ones this time. And just so there's no plot twist as to what my opinion is, I'm for it. I think these look pretty good overall. Now, it's good to keep in mind that with every pro, there are generally some cons. So some of these changes will do things that no one foresaw, and that's why Blizzard probably doesn't like to do them in the past. But let's just go ahead and jump into the discussion of what exactly the changes are and the potential effects from those changes in Phase 2. So, starting with Ulduar, normal mode gear will raise 6 eye levels. The heroic hard mode gear will go up 13 eye levels. And they have confirmed that the PvP gear will also increase and it's been data mined to be 13 eye levels as well. The crafted gear will be going up by 6 eye levels. And it is assumed that the badge gear will also increase by 6 eye levels, but we have nothing on that yet. The big question right now for this is what happens with Val'anyr. If Val'anyr is unchanged, it is usually replaced in ICC. If it gets buffed with the other things, let's say maybe heroic mood style by 13 to keep it the highest eye level of the phase, then it probably stays BIS for healers the whole expansion. Now, there are not often solutions that please everyone when there's a change, but I have spoken with a ton of healers about this, and for the most part, people hope it's buffed. People do not like the feeling of getting a legendary and in the same expansion replacing said legendary. So many healers have been waiting a long time for this item, and it feels good if it'll stay the whole time. So as far as I know, people are hoping that it gets buffed, and that'll make a lot of people happy. And it sounds like a good play as well, with everything else in the phase getting buffed. So with these changes to Ulduar normal gear, they're going to make your first normal mode kills, the loot is going to feel rewarding off the bat. For those who don't know or remember, back in the day, Malagos, the KT loot, the Star 3 Drake loot, that's all the same, that was the same eye level as what Ulduar normal 25-man dropped. So when you came in, you were throwing away loot first week, first kills, all the time. That was a problem back in the day, and it did not feel very good. They mentioned this in one of the interviews, the same thing. So this is a good change off the bat. They've also stated they want to give Ulduar more life when the raid Trial of the Crusader comes out. For those who don't know, Trial of the Crusader is a 5-boss trashless raid. Okay? Once it's on farm, the entire raid takes 30 minutes. Most. Unless you're wiping a bunch. But if it's on farm and you're not wiping a bunch. Having Ulduar be more relevant is going to give a lot more content to people, because they're going to be going back anyways, making people's Val'anyrs and going for just a couple niche pieces. But now, your whole raid is going to have niche pieces they're going for instead of just a couple people. And it's going to feel a lot more rewarding for everyone overall. So I like this change. I think it's smart. And with the buffs to this Ulduar gear, the pre-nerfs are also going to be kind of a new experience. So what I mean is the pre-nerf is what they said that we're going to get. We don't know what that means exactly. There were tons of changes to the Ulduar bosses, but the first few weeks will probably feel like the hardest content Classic has had to offer so far to date. But with the eye level increases, the aid you get from these better pieces will make progging much easier for your average guild. I think the hardcore guilds probably won't have that much of a problem. and this is just going to make it so they're doing crazy things. But for the majority of the player base, this is going to be a very smart thing. It's going to help them get past things easier, and it's going to make things more fun. So that is a really good change in my opinion, and I think that's how it is going to play out. Concerning PvP gear, this opens up some interesting questions about the future. The following phases season will need to have its eye level PvP gear increased as well, which would then make it higher eye level than the raid, because they can't buff TOC's eye level. The whole point of this is that they keep Ulduar relevant, so you're not bored with the phase. Will that make PvP gear really good in PvE? I don't think so, because resilience is a wasted stat. It's taking away a good stat and giving you resilience, but there may be specific pieces that fall through the cracks that create new metas. We'll see. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do with that. But for the last thing, that's the Phase 1 Heroic Mode gear. So, Heroic Mode gear and the Phase 1 25-man loot. So first, these are really bold changes. Phase 1 25-man loot will now also drop from Phase 1 10-man raids. And the 10-man raid loot will drop from Heroic Hard Mode dungeons, data mined as Defense Protocol Alpha. It's a pretty cool name. Most people will still need a couple upgrades from 25-man Phase 1 content a little bit into Phase 2 dropping. So this makes it easier to get the best loot without having to try to get a 25-man together. You can get 10 friends together pretty easily, and it's oftentimes more enjoyable for people to do 10-man anyways. So as for 5-man Heroic Dungeon hard modes, this will be interesting because this is uncharted territory for Wrath and for Classic. The idea sounds fun, especially for alts, because 5-mans are the easiest content to coordinate, right? Even retail streamers I've watched are a little bit envious of the new system, and they said it sounds better than what retail has, so we'll see. We still don't even know everything about it, but we have questions as to what exactly entails making the dungeons harder. Is it a blanket buff the way Nax got with plus damage and health? Or is it going to be like a retail style Mythic Plus where they add some sort of affix to the dungeon to make it more challenging? Other questions are the satchels for tanks and healers going to be better for doing the harder stuff? This is all very interesting. It's pretty exciting, to be honest. Uncharted territory is fun most of the time. And if you guys have any comments or questions or thoughts about this stuff, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And if you want to chat, follow me on Twitch. And whenever I'm streaming, feel free to ask about it as well. And with that, please like and subscribe. And I shall see you guys on the next one.